Vulnerability assessment or pen test. As Keith mentioned, those terms are quite interchangeable in a lot of cases, but they are very similar up to a point. And basically what we're trying to do is we're trying to help people find where their flaws might be before a bad actor would find them. Has anything been left open? For example, I had a client, they had a server exposed to the internet, which had remote code execution available on it. And I brought it to their attention and like, oh no, that server is in our test bed and it's not even on the internet. It's like, well, I can tell you the name of it. I can tell you its internal IP address. I can tell you everything about it. And sure enough, what happens is in the IT world, we're usually underfunded, overworked, and understaffed. And you open up something for someone to come in and fix something, test something, look at something, and you forget to close it. So it just sits there waiting for someone to happen to come by and see it. Big problem in the IT world is missing patches. I mean, people just don't patch like they should. And part of the problem is Microsoft has released patches that have totally crushed people's machines and brought them to their knees. So I do understand the reluctancy, but you really have to pay attention to what is the vulnerability and how bad is it, and do you need to patch it right away, or can you wait a couple days and see if the internet crashes because everybody else patched their stuff? But that's the number one problem. And a lot of times people are missing patches that are upwards of a year old. Things that were fixed a year ago are being exploited. And, another term I like to use is dormant software. And that could be software you bought to do some testing with, and you just decided not to buy it, but you never uninstalled it. It could be old software on your system that you were using, but you've since moved on to something else, and it's still just sitting there. And it's not getting updates, and it's developing vulnerabilities, and eventually it's going to get found. In addition to that, we find a lot of people using like old ciphers, like instead of 256-bit encryption, they're not using 64-bit, but they never uninstalled it. So someone that knows what they're doing can come in there and just say, oh, I just want to use that encryption and not the 256. And there's a lot of vulnerabilities associated with that, such as SSL. People still have versions of SSL2 on their systems, even though they're using the latest version TLS. And although there's no known, to my knowledge, exploit for SSL2 or 3 at this point, sooner or later there will be something developed because there's no updating to that software at all.